So, meet Liu Fugui, a zombie clan member, and he's straight up telling us he's the star of this show. Turns out, old-fashioned is an understatement. This dude's been kicking for over 2,000 years, blessed with eternal life. He explains his name, Fugi, was all the rage back then, like naming your kid wealth or prosperity today. But get this, he hates being immortal, says it's worthless because it cost him something huge. He's got this glowing envelope, and whatever's inside, it's got him looking super intense, like he's about to make a wish. All he cares about now is ditching this immortality curse, wanting to go back and live a full life from childhood. He thought it was a lost cause, a hopeless dream, until they showed up, two mysterious figures from behind. To get small again, he even took betrayal from everyone, a demonic mask flashing, showing the darkness he faced. And if that wasn't enough, he even accepted the utter destruction of his own family to reach his goal. He braced himself, but even then, things went way crazier than he ever imagined. He's a baby, wailing his eyes out in a trash can, rain pouring down. The city's a gloomy, rain-soaked mess, mirroring his despair. His tiny cries echo through the desolate, wet streets, a truly heartbreaking sound. Those two mysterious figures and Liu Fugui just stand there, looking down at the source of the cries. One of them, maybe Fugui before this mess, is horrified. "What have we done?" They're all just staring, completely stunned. "I can't believe that things actually turned out like this," he thinks, as the baby, him, keeps crying. Then rewind. 24 hours earlier, it's Chinese New Year's Eve, fireworks lighting up the sky. But inside, the mood's grim. A news report blares about missing teenage girls. Elsewhere, a girl named Sheng is told her cousin's visiting while her parents are out for New Year's. Curled up in bed, phone illuminating her face, she's clearly not thrilled with staying in. Sheng texts her cousin, bummed about missing a movie and being cooped up alone. An oddly cheerful reply comes back. "Being at home is great." Then, a super suspicious message. "I've never been to your house before." Red flag. Immediately, Sheng fires back. "Huh? Didn't you come over before? Did you forget?" Growing more alarmed, she types the dreaded question, "Did your account get hacked?" Suddenly, we see different hands on a laptop, that same chat window open. It's not her cousin. From the other side, a dismissive, "Ah, ha, ha, ha," is the only response. They try to play it cool. "Hacked? You're overthinking. I just forgot." A lie that sends shivers down your spine. The imposter, revealing his ancient age of 4,378 years, tells Jinshin he'll be there around 7. He smirks, taking off his glasses. Perfect, it's still dark at 7 a.m. in winter. Suddenly, his door bursts open, making him jump. "Wah!" as someone calls his name. An older man, Lao Lai, scoffs. "Scared you? Suddenly so concerned with privacy, Fugi?" Lao Lai reminds him of the family's annual meeting, especially with the household in such a mess. "Today? But I've got plans," Fugi protests, but Lao Lai insists it's New Year's Eve, a time for family. Lao Lai then mentions the family praises Fugi's powerful talismans, with ministers wanting to meet him. We see a close-up of those talismans, one ominously labeled Sleep. Fugi snaps back, "So what? We're a zombie clan. Why would the undead care about New Year's?" Lao Lai glares, "You old geezer acting human but always lecturing us on tradition." Lao Lai lectures, "We've assimilated for thousands of years. Respect the culture. I won't repeat myself." He glares, his expression hardening. "Anyway, you must attend." As Lao Lai leaves, he warns, "Watch your language at the banquet or I'll deal with you." Fugi sits alone in his cluttered room, the silence heavy after the lecture. The moment Lao Lai's gone, Fugi quickly locks his door, a click echoing his defiance. "Blah, blah, blah, like I'd ever listen to you," Fugi scoffs, completely unbothered. He pulls out that glowing envelope again, this one marked 24-hour unseal. "Today is my happy day and no one's going to ruin it," he declares, about to tear it open. A little thought bubble pops up. "This talisman paper really is kind of tricky. Next time, resin in the ink." And just like that, he's younger, glowing with power, exclaiming, "Being young is great!" His youthful face twists into a predatory grin, bandaged hands flexing, ready for his twisted plan. The clock ticks to 06:57 a.m. Shinshin, thinking it's her cousin, calls out from her apartment, "You're here!" But it's Fugi at the door, a chillingly sweet hi on his lips as he greets her. Shinshin recoils, pure confusion and terror in her eyes. "Huh? Wait, you're not Li. Who are you?" Before another word, he lunges, slapping a golden talisman straight onto her forehead, lights out. He effortlessly drags her now limp body further into the quiet apartment. Leaning over her, he whispers with a smirk, "Who I am doesn't matter. What matters is who you are." As he carries her, her last hazy thoughts drift to dramatic delivery guys and a name. Zhang Shuo? Is this the right place? He then casually tosses her onto her bed, the talisman a sinister mark on her unconscious face. Fugui stares down, a disturbing thought crossing his mind. She really is quite good-looking. At this age, they all are. He stands there, just looking down at Shin, still out cold on her bed. A quick close-up on his leopard print pants and that jade piece at his waist. What's he up to? He adjusts himself, a subtle shift as Shin remains vulnerable in the background. Then he's on the bed, casually lifting her leg, his intentions deeply unsettling. Suddenly, the wardrobe across the room starts to emit an eerie, pulsing green glow. And bursting out are two ferocious, traditional-looking Jiangshi, fangs bared, ready to attack. Fugui, caught mid-act, is startled as the two figures crash into the room behind him. But he just smirks. "Hey, so you finally decided to show yourself at this stage? You've got quite the patience." The two Jiangshi lunge at him, claws out, clearly not here for a friendly chat. Fugui, unfazed, effortlessly dodges, one of the Jiangshi flying past, a yellow talisman clearly visible on its back. That talisman on its back, it looks disturbingly familiar to Fugui. A puppet talisman I created, he realizes, so it was someone in the family with ill intentions. As he sidesteps their attack, he mutters, "What a pain to clean up. Try not to make a bloody mess, okay?" Fugui casually sits, taunting them. "Waited till the last second, huh? Worried I'd actually harm the girl?" "I don't know what my relatives want with these girls," he states, "but I always treat my guests right." He holds up a new talisman. "Tell me who's behind this, and I'll make your deaths easy and reveal where the other girls are." His eyes narrow, a chilling promise. "Otherwise, I don't blame me for being ruthless." The Jiangshi just stare back, an unnerving silence filling the room. Then their faces contort, eyes blazing red as they power up into something even more terrifying. Ignoring his offer, they launch themselves at Fugui, claws out, ready to tear him apart. Fugui points, purple energy crackling from his fingertip. "I see." With a flick of his wrist, the two Jiangshi are blasted upwards by his power. He pins them to the wall, a wisp of smoke escaping his lips. Easy peasy. But wait, the Jiangshi are completely unharmed, their red eyes blazing with surprise. Fugi's eyes widen. "My attacks aren't working? What's that glowing membrane around them?" A close-up reveals another talisman on them, an enhancement charm. "Damn it," Fugui thinks, shade suddenly on. "They're using my talismans for this shady crap." Turns out these enhancement talismans don't just boost power, they add a defensive shield. Fugui bites his thumb, drawing blood. Brute force won't work. Better try something else. He begins to draw with his blood, preparing a new tactic as the Jiangshi watch. The Jiangshi let out a furious roar, one clutching a talisman, ready to strike again. Fugui, with a fierce "go!" hurls a massive, freshly blood-drawn talisman right at them. The Jiangshi pause, looking utterly baffled by this new, oversized paper heading their way. Purple energy erupts from Fugi's blood talisman, instantly enveloping the Jiangshi, targeting their enhancement charms. The blood sigils on his special talisman flare, burning through their defenses with dark power. One Jiangshi watches in horror as its own hand starts to dissipate, green energy flaking off it. Before it can react, Fugi's bandaged hand clamps down hard over its face, eye blazing. He's a blur, grabbing one by the throat, his own eyes glowing with intense purple energy. A massive shockwave of dark energy explodes outwards, Fugui at the epicenter of the chaos. As the dust settles, only Fugui stands, wisps of dark energy coiling around his stylish shoes. Fugui dusts off his bandaged hands, a satisfied "Phew, all done," escaping his lips. He glances at Shin, lost in thought. Who's the real mastermind? My family's full of shady types. Suddenly, a voice calls from the doorway. Shin, we're back! And Fugui whips his head around. A blonde woman peeks in, her expression immediately turning to concern as she takes in the scene. Stepping in, she exclaims, "Didn't we tell her to lock the door? This is a huge problem." The scene shifts to a sprawling cityscape bathed in the warm glow of sunrise. We see Fugui standing on a rooftop overlooking it all as he begins his story. "My name is Liu Fugui, a 5,000-year-old member of the zombie clan." He recounts a fateful ritual from 2338 BCE with two other boys, gaining immortality but losing his little Fugui in the process. The price for his immense zombie power, rooted in absolute yin, was his manhood, a stark choice. Fugui looks utterly dejected, lamenting, "For 377 years single, keeping this eternal virginity secret is tough." He reveals, "Until last year when I finally developed the most critical talisman, allowing me to reclaim my masculinity. This Unsealing Talisman works for 24 hours, reverting him to his 15-year-old self, but it's so draining he can only use it every 6 months. Detective work can wait," he smirks. "Today, I'm here to enjoy myself." He then pats his leopard print pants with a cheeky grin. "Hey there, kiddo. Long time no see. Did you miss me?" With a confident glint in his eye, he declares, "Today, Daddy's taking you out for some real fun." The scene shifts to a bright, sunny day, showing a street with a kindergarten nearby. And bam! Fugui's suddenly on a basketball court, effortlessly dunking and shocking everyone. Next, he's at an arcade, absolutely demolishing a strength tester machine with a single punch. Then he's at a sports field, making an impossible long jump, leaving onlookers utterly speechless. But Fugui looks totally unimpressed, grumbling, "A bunch of old men, not a single pretty girl in sight." But his search for fun hits a snag as he comically wipes out, screaming while sliding across the ground. Undeterred, he's soon at a food stall, boldly ordering, "Boss, 5 more bowls of super spicy noodles." A close-up shows Fugui, face flushed and sweating, clearly feeling the intense heat of the spicy food. Next, he's in a sauna, looking utterly blissed out, while 2 guys nearby wonder if he's into them. Emerging from the building, Fugui stretches with satisfaction, exclaiming, "Ah, that hit the spot!" With a sly smirk, he declares, "The appetizers are all done. Now, it's time for the main course." His stylish heeled shoes take a confident step forward, ready for the next adventure. He arrives before an opulent building, clearly a high-class establishment for some serious pampering. A determined glint in his eye, Fugui thinks, "I'm just 1 step away from becoming a real man." He dramatically parts his jacket, revealing the intricate talisman design on his shirt, ready for his main course. He nervously approaches the entrance. I'd like to..." But a voice from inside cuts him off. "Sorry, minors are not allowed inside." Fugui splutters, "Wait, no, you misunderstood. I just wanted a massage to relax." The voice dryly suggests, "For massages, go across the street. They're more legitimate than us." Fugui's face twitches in annoyance. "The shop across the street?" He glances over, seeing a very different, much tougher-looking massage parlor, and just stares blankly. Defeated, Fugui slumps to the ground, only for a large, imposing figure to step into view. His eyes well up with comical tears as he looks up, utterly bewildered by this turn of events. Standing before him is an elderly man with a stern look and a flowing red scarf. The old man glares down at Fugui, his expression radiating pure disapproval. Fugui muses, "How long have I known Lao Lai? Ages, as generations of his family pass before his immortal eyes. I've known Lao Lai since he was a kid in split pants," he recalls, explaining Lao Lai is his disciple whose family he'd helped. But for some reason, that brat always had this aura, Fugui admits, like he was the superior one. A flashback shows tiny Lao Lai scolding an older Fugui, "Chasing girls again? Haven't you failed enough?" making Fugui fume. The old Fugui nearly brains him with a shovel as someone exclaims, "Damn, this kid's got guts!" Back in the present, Fugui's expression turns serious. But Lao Lai, a younger, determined Lao Lai appears as Fugui finishes, "is the person I trust the most." On the street, Lao Lai asks, "You suspect family?" Fugui's grim, "Who else could get that talisman paper?" Lao Lai gives him a knowing look. "So, the massage parlor was for investigation? I'll use a talisman to look older," Fugui plans. "You go to the family gathering," earning a simple humph from Lao Lai. Inside a lavish hall, the Liu family gathering is already lively, with one member playfully chasing a woman, "Heh, don't run away now!" At a nearby table, a sharply dressed man and a woman share an intimate moment, clearly enjoying the feast and company. Another group of family members, dressed in finery, observe the scene with keen interest, perhaps sizing up the attendees. Meanwhile, Fugui, disguised as an elderly man, and Lao Lai sit at their own table, looking distinctly unimpressed by the surrounding chatter. A man with a striking purple robe spots them, calling out with a smirk, "Yo, little missy, when did you get here?" Clearly addressing the disguised Fugui. Others nearby begin to gossip. "I just arrived. I thought he wouldn't show up," one says, while another adds, "Like he'd ever miss it. He's probably looking forward to some public praise." The man who addressed Fugui gives a subtle, almost imperceptible smirk, his eyes glinting with amusement. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifts as King Wu Shengdai, the 107th zombie king of the zombie clan, makes his grand entrance, flanked by attendants. From the head of the hall, King Wu addresses everyone with a calm authority. "Greetings. It's just a banquet, everyone. Take your seats and relax tonight." Fugui, still in his elderly disguise, casually lifts a piece of food in acknowledgement, as a small note points out we've now met all the past zombie kings. King Wu Shengdai gazes intently, his expression unreadable but hinting at something important. He addresses Fugui directly. "I'm sure you've heard, due to your talisman work, I'll formally acknowledge your contributions tonight." "I know there aren't many things that interest you," King Wu continues, as an attendant presents an ornate box, "but I still wanted to prepare a gift." The camera zooms in on the exquisite, dark wooden box, held out as the promised gift. But just as the moment builds, the purple-robed man from before shouts, "Your Majesty, please wait!" He interjects, "I understand Fugui's work is significant, but shouldn't a family with 1,000-year history be clear about both merits and faults?" King Wu turns, a slight frown on his face. "Wu Shu, what are you trying to say?" His eyes narrow dangerously. "This is New Year's Eve, a joyous occasion. Don't ruin my mood." Wu Shu drops to his knees, pleading, "Your Majesty, have mercy. I don't intend to challenge you, but what I've learned is no trivial matter." Then, with a dramatic point towards the disguised Fugui, Wu Shu declares, "Liu Fugui has seriously violated the family's sacred laws." Wu Shu dramatically reveals he has secretly undone his seal and transformed back into his younger self, and Fugui's disguised face shows pure shock. As proof, photos of Fugui's recent escapades, the sauna, the food stall, his stylish self, are scattered for all to see. "This isn't baseless," Wu Shu declares, showing more pictures of Fugui with women. "I had someone follow him, it's all true." He continues his damning accusation. "My informant says before dawn, Liu Fugui entered an underage girl's home." The disguised Fugui listens, his expression turning stony as Wu Shu darkly hints, "What he did is unknown, but it wasn't charity, right?" Around the hall, other family members watch the unfolding drama with a mix of shock and morbid curiosity. Even the attendant holding the ornate gift box looks flustered, her eyes wide with surprise at the sudden turn of events. King Wu Shengdai, initially annoyed, now watches Wu Shu's accusations with a more thoughtful, unreadable expression. With a subtle gesture, King Wu seems to dismiss the attendant, who looks startled by the sudden command. The attendant stumbles back, the precious gift box tumbling from her grasp with a clatter. King Wu turns to the disguised Fugui. "Fugui, I'll give you a chance. Is what Wu Shu said true?" Fugui sits stunned, while Lao Lai beside him looks on with grim determination. But before Fugui can answer, Lao Lai rises. "King Wu, I know Fugui made a mistake, but I wish to speak for him." "Everyone knows his unique condition," Lao Lai pleads. "I trust him. He'd never do anything truly immoral." Wu Shu, still kneeling, turns with a sneer. "Lao Lai!" "Do you truly believe in his character?" Wu Shu mocks. "Or is it because you know he physically can't?" Lao Lai absolutely explodes with rage, his face a mask of fury. "You!" Across the hall, other family members are lapping up the drama, some smirking over their drinks. One particularly sleazy-looking relative and his companions openly sneer, clearly enjoying Fugui's public humiliation. "Enough," King Wu finally declares, his voice cutting through the tension. "I trust Fugui's character, but rules are rules. This cannot be brushed aside." King Wu declares, "Wu Shu, since you exposed this incident, I will let you decide what punishment Fugui shall receive." Wu Shu accepts with a sinister grin. "As for his punishment, I happen to have a perfect idea." Later, the once bustling hall is quiet and nearly deserted, with only Fugui and Lao Lai present. Fugui, still in his old man disguise, looks on with a puzzled and weary expression. The opulent room is now in complete disarray, evidence of the wild night scattered everywhere. Discarded robes, shoes, and even some lacy underthings are strewn across the floor. Then we see it. Fugui, broom in hand, diligently sweeping away the remnants of the celebration. Laolai watches, commenting with a hint of disdain. I didn't expect their so-called punishment to be nothing more than making you clean the university. Fugui calmly responds while sweeping, that's normal. After all, they still want to buy this so-called honor. He continues, a touch of melancholy in his voice. If they really sentenced me to death, no one would take my place. I'm just one of the many amusements for them. Fugi's disguised face is etched with a deep weariness, his eyes reflecting a quiet acceptance of his fate. Laolai walks off, telling Fugui, don't overthink it. You should feel lucky this is all they did to you. As Laolai prepares to leave, Fugui, still sweeping, yells, Hey, it's your fault I'm here. You better stay and help me clean up. Laolai coolly replies over his shoulder, This punishment is for you alone. I can't help or people will start talking, as Fugui mutters, Bastard! Fugui grumbles to himself, Such a huge haul and they give me a lousy broom. Do they expect me to use my mouth as a vacuum cleaner? While two mysterious figures appear in the background. The two cloaked, masked figures hover ominously behind Fugui, completely unnoticed as he continues his complaints. Suddenly, one of the masked figures, eyes glowing red, thrusts out a hand, unleashing streams of white cloth. The white tendrils whip through the air with incredible speed, heading straight for their target. Fugui, broom still in hand, turns with a startled as the white bindings rush towards him. Before he can react, Fugui is tightly bound and gagged by the cloth, his muffled echoing his shock. One of the captors amidst the darkness seems to be thinking, Chinese food is really delicious, a bizarrely casual thought. The scene shifts, revealing Fugui, still bound, now seated before his two cloaked and masked captors in an ornate room. Fugui, looking utterly bewildered and still tied up, demands, You? Who are you? What do you want? One masked figure jumps in surprise, exclaiming, Wah! When did he wake up? While the other remains composed. The calmer masked figure stands, coolly telling Fugui, You don't need to worry about who we are. This isn't personal, just a simple transaction. He then lays out their demand. You're Liu Fugui, right? We need the method for your special grade Unsealing Talisman, and we guarantee your safety. The masked man leans in, sensing Fugi's unspoken defiance. Not willing, huh? Fugui internally laments his disastrous day, from romantic failures and public shame to now being kidnapped for his skills. With a sudden surge of resolve, Fugi's face contorts in effort as he grits out, Bam! A massive burst of white energy erupts from Fugui, blasting his two captors backward as he yells, Ha! The two masked figures stumble back, shocked by Fugi's sudden power surge. And there he is. Fugui, now in his younger, stylish form, stands defiantly, the white bindings ripped apart around him. His eyes glow with purple energy as he snarls, I'm really pissed off right now! Fugui faces his two cloaked captors, ready for a fight, the remnants of the cloth still clinging to him. One captor exclaims, Hey, you recognize him, right? It's really him. While the other stays silent, assessing. The calmer one orders, I'll stop him first. You quickly go and seal off the entire area, but don't alert the outsiders. And his partner agrees. A super close-up on Fugi's eyes, burning with intense purple light, shows he's not messing around. As one captor leaps away, Fugui scoffs, You think you can treat me like I'm just decoration? Then you'd better have the skill to back it up. In a flash, Fugui is right behind the fleeing captor, his expression deadly serious. Fugui internally analyzes his opponent. Speed is average, reaction is average, and the initial burst of power is also relatively lacking. This must be someone who's not young anymore. Fugui, crackling with purple energy, scoffs, You think you can stop me with just that? He unleashes a devastating energy blast, slamming right into the remaining captor. Meanwhile, the fleeing captor draws intricate patterns on the floor with their own blood. Red lines of power erupt from the floor as the masked figure completes a sinister blood seal. The entire room is now caged in a glowing red grid, trapping everything and everyone inside. But just as the seal is complete, Fugui, one eye now blazing red, appears right behind the unsuspecting captor. His eyes shift back to intense purple as he declares, talisman swirling around him, Next, it's your turn. The captor whirls around, their cloak starting to dissipate as Fugui stands ready. From behind his golden mask, the captor smirks internally. His turn? I don't think so. Fugui reels back in shock. How is this possible? My full force strike, it had no effect? The captor, mask gleaming, taunts Fugui with his own words, "It's your turn." Fugui, looking down, realizes with dread, this is bad. Suddenly, we zoom out to Earth, as a narrator reveals a hidden truth about our modern world. We learn these secret supernatural families are based in the Great Eastern Nation, the opulent manors of Southern Europe, and the ancient sands of Egypt. Everyday people on a train are oblivious, mistaking these real entities for mere folklore. For these families are the legendary zombies, mummies, and vampires, all terrifyingly real. Ancient records show these three great families have clashed in epic wars for millennia. The captor, now fully revealed in traditional garb, drops a bombshell, and your Liu family is the zombie clan. But then, a peace manifesto appears, revealing that these epic conflicts actually ceased decades ago. They'd discovered a cosmic rock, paper, scissors. Zombies counter vampires, vampires counter mummies. And mummies like this glowing captor now menacing Fugui naturally counter zombies. Fugui stares, horrified. You're from the mummy family? As the golden mask radiates power. Then, plot twist. Fugui's suddenly sitting, bruised but weirdly cooperative. No need, I'll grind it myself. He even flashes a gap-toothed grin. Don't worry, Unsealing Talismans, you've come to the right guy. With surprisingly steady bandaged hands, Fugui meticulously begins to draw the talisman. Ta-da! He announces proudly, holding up the freshly made talisman to his captors. Except, a closer look reveals the paper reads, Flash Explosion Talisman. One captor takes it, a skeptical thought crossing their mind. Are you sure this is an unsealing talisman? Something feels off. The masked captor stares at the talisman, a silent, hanging in the air as suspicion mounts. Fugui, ever the charmer, leans in. Yep, says Unsealing Talisman, all right, while internally mocking the captor's limited knowledge. Suddenly, the captor flinches, the talisman pressed right against their chest as realization dawns a second too late. Kaboom! A blinding flash erupts, engulfing the captor as the talisman detonates with immense force. The shockwave sends the other captor flying, slamming hard against the far wall with a sickening thud. Fugui stands coolly amidst the chaos, revealing, that flash explosion talisman, it's a signal flare and backup's coming in 5. He then reminds them of ancient laws. Remember the peace manifesto? Meddling like this is a serious crime, guys. With eyes blazing purple, Fugui declares, but first, let's see who you really are. Through the smoke, we see the dazed captors, their forms still obscured but clearly reeling from the unexpected blast. A super tight shot on Fugui's eyes, burning with an unyielding purple glare. He absolutely means business. Fugui stares, the smoke clearing to reveal two familiar faces. It's you! He recalls their distant past. How long has it been since we last met? Our coming of age at 15. A flashback shows the three of them, younger, bound by ancient ties, 4,000 years and only a handful of meetings since. The most vivid memory surfaces, the three clans signing the peace accord. Back then, we were all in our prime. Fugui's internal voice admits, looking at their determined younger faces. And from that moment on, I never forgot them. Suddenly, the doors burst open as a fierce disciple and her entourage arrive. Master, your disciple has come to save you. Fugui, now looking like his older self and casually holding a broom, greets them. Ah, you're here. His disciple looks around, utterly confused. Master, that flash talisman meant danger. Where are the enemies? With the two captors now awkwardly standing by, Fugui begins, It's a long story. The real reason I called you is... His disciple absolutely loses it, her face a mask of comical fury. What the hell? You called us just to help you clean up? Fugui, dabbing a teary eye, laments to his disciple. You've heard the rumors, haven't you? At last night's banquet, I was humiliated and mocked. He continues pitifully. They even ordered me to clean the entire hall alone, so I thought you could lend a hand. His disciple absolutely loses it, but it's the middle of the night, and I even arranged for 4 elite guards to assist you. As Fugui, sporting a fresh bump, meekly offers, Oh? Then it should be cleaned up in no time. We're leaving! She screams, marching out with her entourage, abandoning a comically dejected Fugui on his knees with a broom. The scene shifts, focusing on a brush being carefully dipped into vibrant yellow ink, ready for talisman crafting. Back with the trio, Fugui now has a huge, throbbing bump on his head as Emil, Mummy, asks with concern, Are you sure your head's okay? Fugui just grunts. It's fine. Don't touch it. Emil Ezel, the ancient mummy, stares intently, his gaze sharp and unreadable under the dim lights. He then says, "You're impressive. I didn't expect you to master a skill that makes talisman writing look so convincing." But Fugui retorts, "I wrote an actual flash burst talisman. You just can't read." Despite the bickering, Fugui presents two newly inscribed talismans, declaring, "Here it's done." Standing in the grand, now quiet hall, Caesar, vampire, breaks the silence, looking at Fugui and asking simply, "Why?" Fugui, with a knowing smirk, quotes an old saying about not holding things in, adding, "I'm helping because, like you, I refuse to accept unfair rules." Emil and Caesar exchange bewildered glances, completely thrown by Fugui's unique proverb. "All right, eat up," Fugui instructs, turning away. "And remember, chew thoroughly. It'll help activate the effects." They both stare down at the talismans, then at each other, a silent, "Are we really doing this?" passing between them. Suddenly, their eyes blaze with power. Caesar's a fiery red, Emil's a brilliant gold, as the talismans ignite. "Ah!" they both scream, engulfed in blinding, crackling energy as the talismans work their magic. Fugui watches calmly, arms crossed, as chaotic energy whips around his two ancient companions. The light fades, revealing Emil and Caesar, looking remarkably younger, their forms revitalized and powerful. Fugui rushes over to Caesar, who's on his knees. "Hey, are you guys okay?" Caesar stares at his smooth hand in utter disbelief. No wrinkles, no age spots. Tears stream down Caesar's face as he exclaims, "I really turned young again." Fugui casually explains, "The first time shrinking back is always like this. Your stomach will feel like it's churning inside out, but it'll pass." Overcome with emotion, Caesar suddenly lunges forward, wrapping Fugui in a tight hug. "Thank you. Truly thank you." Caesar sobs, "I really never thought I'd experience youth again." Fugui looks a little surprised by the hug but seems to accept it, a subtle expression on his face. Pulling back, Fugui asks, "Speaking of which, why did you want to turn younger? Was it because your aging body had grown too weak?" Caesar replies, "No, that's not it." Caesar reveals with a grim look, "The price of my immortality is the endless consumption of raw flesh and blood. For over 2,000 years, I've grown sick of the taste." Fugui listens intently, a look of understanding dawning as Caesar finishes. "It's like having to breathe every day, but the only air available carries the putrid stench of rotting meat." "I see," Fugui says softly, then turns his gaze, presumably towards Emil. "And you? What made you—" Fugi's eyes widen slightly, a flicker of surprise as he seems to anticipate Emil's reason. Emil, with a look of pure ecstasy, shoves food into his mouth, savoring every bite. He's practically inhaling a bun and some meat, the simple act of eating now a profound experience. Overwhelmed, Emil covers his face, surrounded by a feast, as Caesar and Fugui watch quietly. A close-up on Emil's tear-streaked face as he murmurs, "I finally remember. So this is—" Tears continue to flow as he clutches food, whispering, "This is what food is supposed to taste like." Caesar explains to Fugui that mummies like Emil lose their internal organs, and with them their sense of taste and smell. For 4,000 long years, Caesar reveals, Emil hasn't known the aroma or flavor of food, not even once. Fugui sighs, looking at his ancient friends. We're all just unfortunate souls, aren't we?" Putting an arm around Emil, Fugui offers him more food and a drink. "Eat slowly, kid. Try this Chinese milk tea, it's amazing." Emil, mouth full, retorts, "Don't call me kid. I'm older than you by a few months, you know." Fugui, amused, just waves it off. All right, whatever you say," as Emil chugs down the milk tea. Suddenly, Emil's breathing actual fire, screaming, "Ha! So spicy!" While Fugui collapses in laughter, and Caesar watches the chaos. Caesar, now looking strikingly young, just smiles faintly, a hint of fangs showing, a thoughtful expression on his face. Then, a single, unsettling eye appears on a nearby screen, secretly observing them. The scene plunges into the distant past, revealing a terrifying ancient demon king whose immortality was a profound mystery. This omnipotent demon king once led its demonic race in an unrelenting, brutal war against all of humanity. But in 2339 BC, humanity finally united, their combined strength managing to subjugate the seemingly invincible foe after a final, desperate war. It was called subjugation, not execution, because the Demon King's power was so immense, true annihilation was simply impossible. So, in 2338 BC, a grim sentence was passed. The Demon King would be dismembered, its very essence divided into flesh, blood, and bones. This horrific process, involving 100 executioners and lasting 9 agonizing days, ended with its remains entrusted to 3 chosen champions for suppression. Over time, these guardians evolved. The family sealing the flesh became the zombie clan. The blood suppressors became vampires, bone restrainers, mummies. Thus, these legends were born. Back in the present, Fugui offers 2 more talismans. Use one every 6 months, then find me next year. The revitalized Caesar and Emil gratefully accept, Caesar promising a rare scepter as a future gift. Then Caesar casually asks, "By the way, Fugui, what was the price of your immortality?" making Fugui visibly gulp. Fugui tries to play it cool. Long story. In short. I've suddenly forgotten. Out of nowhere, his disciple chimes in, Master's price was losing his ding-ding, as Fugui shrieks, "Why are you here?" She explains she sensed trouble and watched from the shadows, leaving Fugui mortified she heard everything. Fugui tries to guilt trip her, but she's not having it. "Don't pull the family bond card twice in one day." With a knowing look, she assures them, "Don't worry, I won't spill your secret." His disciple chimes in, "I may not be a man, but after all these years, I know your pain, Master." She then lists his woes: born at the bottom, endless ridicule, mocked as a weakling, the ultimate scapegoat. And with a final push, she has Fugui on all fours as he begs, "Enough, disciple. You'll strip me of my last shred of dignity. I'm going back to sleep," she declares, leaving Fugui to grumble, "Maybe read a book called Silence is Golden sometime." The door slams shut with a decisive wham as she makes her exit. Fugui, beet red, hears Caesar muse, "So this is what you've endured." While Emil adds, "Your life's been far tougher than mine." Caesar clears his throat. "Anyway, I have something important to ask you." As Fugui tries to recall, "Oh, that, I think it was..." But before Fugui can answer, his face contorts, cheeks puffing out with a strained Ugh! Fugui suddenly doubles over, a strange purple substance spewing from his mouth. Caesar and Emil watch in shock as Fugui collapses, crying out, "Huh? What's happening?" Caesar and Emil stare in wide-eyed horror, completely caught off guard. Both cry out as Fugui writhes on the floor, still expelling that strange substance. A glowing, almost ethereal purple orb begins to emerge from Fugui's mouth. As the purple orb floats up, similar red and yellow orbs now drift from Caesar and Emil. The 3 orbs streak towards each other, colliding in a brilliant, chaotic burst of light. A single, dazzlingly bright sphere now hovers high above them, pulsing with energy. Fugui, clutching his chest, gasps with dawning realization. Could this be... The radiant orb suddenly sprouts a tiny, surprised face, looking down at them. With a flash, the little light being zips out of the room and into the night sky. "Chase them!" Caesar shouts, his expression fierce. "We have to go after them!" A brilliant purple beam of energy slices through the rainy city as text proclaims, "The seal is broken. All things return to their destined gaze." Fugui, Caesar, and Emil sprint down the wet streets, desperately chasing the streaking light. The beam carves a path through the urban landscape with a chilling message. The 3 flowers converge atop the head. The true demon awakens. It smashes into a tall apartment building, the text continuing, "The 5 paths remain, yet victory is undecided." A young boy with an umbrella looks up, exclaiming, "Mom, look, a shooting star!" Oblivious to the true nature of the light. The purple energy forms a complex, glowing triangular pattern in the sky, as text declares, "The shackles have long since broken." The beams converge downwards, zeroing in on a cluster of overflowing trash cans in an alley. With a final explosive impact, the energy slams into the trash, the text ominously stating, "And the world stands at its grand finale." The alley is shown, rain pouring down on the disturbed trash cans, accompanied by thudding sounds and a faint, "Ah!" A close-up on a dented metal trash can as a louder, "Ah!" echoes from within. Fugui, Emil, and Caesar skid to a halt in the rain-soaked alley, staring in disbelief. From the depths of the alley, a desperate, high-pitched wail cuts through the downpour. Fugui's face twists in horror. "What? Have the 3 of us done?" He gasps, "Unbelievable!" And there it is, a tiny, fanged baby in the trash, screaming as if it can't believe they let things turn out like this. Fugui snaps with a ch as purple energy crackles around his hands, ready to act. He unleashes a powerful blast of purple light straight at the source of the cries. The baby continues to shriek amidst the garbage, now surrounded by swirling purple energy. Fugui's eyes blaze with fierce determination, talismans glowing faintly on his clothes. Emil voices their shared shock. So, is this happening because we consumed the Unsealing Talisman? Caesar grimly confirms. Looking at the situation now, that seems the only explanation, as the baby's cries echo. The alley is quiet now, save for the relentless rain and a fading, distant cry. From one dented trash can, a weak "ah" barely cuts through the downpour. Emil notes with concern, the crying is getting weaker, while Caesar grimly suggests it's probably on the verge of death. Caesar scoffs. Don't be ridiculous. It took Fugui's blast head on. How could it die so easily? Emil's eyes narrow with a dawning realization. No. This is something else entirely. He explains that even the strongest feel basic needs like hunger, exhaustion, and fatigue. And as we see the tiny, shivering baby in the cold trash, Emil adds, or perhaps they feel cold as well. Suddenly, the scene shifts. The baby is now clean, swaddled, and sleeping peacefully indoors. Caesar stares, a look of surprise on his face as he murmurs, "It's a baby girl." He turns to Emil, completely bewildered. "The Tianyi demon I fought was a man. How could he reincarnate as a girl? I have no idea what's going on." Emil, with a hint of concern, turns to Fugui. "Fugui, do you—" Fugui sits silently, his posture heavy as if the weight of the world is on his shoulders. Tears stream down Fugui's face, a silent testament to some unspoken sorrow. Caesar and Emil watch Fugui, who now stands a somber air about him. Caesar offers a way out. "Fugui, what are you planning to do? If you're willing, come with me to Egypt. But this baby girl—" Suddenly, the sound of rushing footsteps shatters the quiet moment. "Someone's coming," Emil exclaims, while Caesar adds, "Have we been discovered? That was way too fast." The doors burst open, figures storming into the room with urgent purpose. In an instant, they're surrounded by armed individuals, including Fugui's disciple, all looking grim. Fugui's disciple, holding the swaddled baby, looks down with a start, exclaiming, "This is—" Fugui, with tears still on his face, confesses with a heavy heart, "I called them here." Caesar and Emil are utterly floored, a shocked "what?" hanging in the rainy air. The scene shifts to a lavish room where a man in his undergarments fumes, "Damn it! That little bastard Fugui!" He rants, "I spared his life at the banquet, and instead of being grateful, he caused this mess. No wonder things didn't go smoothly tonight." Back in the rainy alley, Fugui, Caesar, and Emil are now being escorted away by the armed group, their backs to us. A close-up shows heavily bandaged hands bound tightly in thick chains, a symbol of their capture. Caesar, Fugui, and Emil are paraded through the rain-slicked city streets, all in chains, a grim procession. Fugui turns to Caesar and Emil, his expression resolute. "I will make it clear that this has nothing to do with you two. The talismans were drawn by me alone." His eyes narrow with determination as he declares, "I will take full responsibility." Suddenly, Fugui's disciple grabs him, shouting, "What are you mumbling about? Still acting cool? Do you even realize what you've done?" Just as things escalate, a calm voice cuts in, "Enough! This isn't the place for a private execution." Fugui's disciple whirls around, a massive question mark popping up as he faces the newcomer. A mysterious figure with long silver hair and a red scarf stands stoically in the rain, a quiet sigh escaping him. Fugui looks up utterly bewildered, his bruised face asking, "Huh?" The silver-haired man turns, a knowing look in his eyes. "Your temper. Better than I expected. I thought you'd fight back by now." Fugui, completely lost, presses him. "What do you mean by that?" The man drops a bombshell. "I leaked your secret about the talismans. I told them about the banquet. I made you go." He continues, revealing he watched everything unfold. "I stayed until the seal broke, until the baby girl was born." Fugui stares, aghast at this betrayal. "It was you? But why would you do all this?" The silver-haired man almost smirks. "You're asking me? That's amusing." The silver-haired man stands firm in the downpour, his voice cutting through the rain. Liu Fugui! He roars, his face contorted with emotion. Haven't you always wanted to return to your childhood? Fugui just stares back, a massive question mark popping over his head, completely baffled by this outburst. The man continues his furious tirade. All the humiliation, the suffering your family put you through, was any of that truly meant for you? Fugi's disciple suddenly intervenes, sword at the ready. Hey, enough! Lai Zhongyun, are you trying to rebel too? Lai Chongyun ignores him, his focus solely on Fugui. That baby girl, she's the Tianyi demon's reincarnation, but also a potential new vessel for its power, a way for you all to avoid sacrifice. Fugui listens, a flicker of something in his eyes as Lai Zhongyun admits, but this is all just speculation. If we remove the seal and the demon descends again, what then? Lai Zhongyun's voice cracks with desperate hope. There will always be a way. If that baby absorbs all the unsealing power, there has to be. He glances towards Fugui, Emil, and Caesar, his tone urgent. Right now, they're rushing the baby to the dissection room. Once they start cutting her open, it'll be too late. Lai Chongyun turns back to Fugui, the rain pouring down. Fugui, this is your only chance in this lifetime. Lai Chongyun delivers a chilling ultimatum. The King of Wu gave the order himself. The place you're being sent to is the abyssal prison. Once you're there, you'll never have another chance. But Caesar, with a steely gaze, shatters his chains with sheer force. Emil follows suit, snapping his own bonds, leaving Fugi's disciple utterly stunned. You all! The disciple furiously shouts, Are you idiots? If you just come with me quietly, our zombie clan won't do anything to you outsiders. But if you choose to resist here, the consequences will be entirely different. Emil, fangs bared, glares back defiantly. What we do is none of your business. Caesar, ever cool, turns to Fugui, a single chain link dangling from his hand. So, what's your decision? Fugui stares out at the rain-swept city, a single name echoing in his thoughts. Aizal. He turns, a desperate resolve in his eyes, asking Lai Zhongyun, Can you lend me an unsealing talisman? Meanwhile, in a sterile room, a nurse asks a grim-faced doctor, Doctor, what should we do with this baby girl? The doctor, his expression chillingly detached, replies, What do you mean? Naturally, we will handle her the same way we handled the Tianyi demon back then. The nurse, with a chilling smile, asks if she can keep the baby's skin as a souvenir, but the doctor snaps, Are you kidding me? This treasure is mine to keep. His face twists into a deranged grin, eyes gleaming as he mutters, Hehehe, the pleasure our ancestors once knew. Finally, I can experience it too. He approaches the terrified, chained baby, declaring, Let's start. I can't hold back any longer. Suddenly, a massive crash echoes from outside, water splashing as something breaks through. The doctor and nurse whip around, startled by the sudden violent intrusion. A dark, imposing figure with glowing eyes emerges from the dust and shadows of the ruined entrance. It's Fugui, eyes blazing with power, an unsealing talisman clenched in his teeth, growling, Give her to me. A close-up shows someone swallowing hard, a silent gulp of fear at Fugi's terrifying presence. Fugui lunges forward with incredible speed, roaring, Get away from her! The nurse stumbles back in shock as Fugui closes in on the helpless baby, still chained between the pillars. Suddenly, guards drop from the ceiling, swords flashing, ready to intercept Fugui. Fugi's eyes narrow, a thought bubble revealing his surprise. Elite guards? He doesn't hesitate, spinning with a powerful kick that sends one guard flying, blood spurting from his head. Fugui whips out a glowing, purple energy-infused dart, aiming it with deadly precision. Another guard leaps down, sword raised, but Fugi's dart zips past, trailing purple energy aimed right at him. The guard grits his teeth, determined to block, but the dart is too fast, too powerful. Fugui, eyes blazing purple, roars again, Give her, as he unleashes another attack. To me! His attack, a wave of purple energy, blasts the remaining guards aside. The elite guards are slammed against the walls, completely overwhelmed by Fugi's sudden power. With the guards down, Fugui sprints desperately towards the chained baby in the distance. Fugui looks up as 3 more elite guards drop down, weapons raised, ready to strike. His purple eyes blaze with fury. Damn it, this never ends! As talismans flutter around him. The doctor's scalpel makes its first cut on the baby's chest, and she lets out a piercing, pain-filled scream. Fugui roars in anguish, Baby! Clutching the unsealing talisman, desperation etched on his face. He thrust the talisman forward, eyes blazing, shouting, "Come out and help me! Sudaji!" A stunning woman with flowing pink hair, Sudaji, materializes in a vortex of purple energy. "I'll handle these three. You go save her." The guards reel back, one recognizing her instantly. It's Sacrificial Spirit. They recover quickly, unleashing a volley of yellow exorcism talismans. "Use an advanced exorcism talisman." Sudaji glares, her fangs bared, utterly insulted. "You dare use talismans crafted by my master against me?" With a furious cry, she unleashes a devastating attack, red energy beams slicing through the air, engulfing the guards. Sudaji scoffs, the talismans burning off her back. "Idiots!" While Sudaji handles the guards, Fugui sprints past, racing towards the baby. The doctor, unfazed, continues his grim work, making another cut on the baby's arm. The baby grimaces in pain, her tiny fangs bared, energy draining. The doctor leans in with a sickening smile. "Don't fall asleep on me, little one. I want to see more of a reaction from you." Fugui, a blur of purple energy, leaps down from above, aiming right for the doctor. He lands a brutal punch, sending the doctor flying sideways. The doctor surprisingly smirks back. "Hey, pretty boy, did you miss me?" Fugui, momentarily stunned, throws another punch as the doctor raises his arms to block. Their fists collide with a thud, the doctor actually managing to parry Fugi's blow. Fugui, eyes blazing with purple fury, snarls, He unleashes a savage kick, sending the doctor flying, roaring, "I've been waiting to give you a good beating for a long time." The doctor's face contorts in a silent scream of agony and disbelief. He skids across the stone floor, utterly powerless against Fugi's onslaught. Fugui, seething, draws a wicked glowing green dagger, his voice low. "Now!" The dagger pulses with ominous green energy, ready to deliver the final blow. With a furious cry of "Die!" Fugui lunges, aiming to end the doctor for good. The green dagger connects with a sickening thud, blood erupting violently. It ends up lodged in the pillar, but the doctor lies broken and lifeless, a horrific end to his cruelty. Fugui stares, his rage replaced by dawning horror. "No! Please!" Fugi's trembling hands clutch a snapped red thread, blood staining his bandages and the floor. He kneels before the injured baby, desperately pleading, "Don't die, baby. You still—" His purple eyes are wide with utter horror and disbelief, reflecting the grim scene. An anguished tears from Fugui as he stares at the broken thread, his hope shattering. Suddenly, two figures appear in the ruined doorway, one with red hair shouting, "Found them! Over here!" The newcomers, a fanged youth and a stern-faced warrior, stare in shock, the warrior muttering, "This—" Fugui collapses further, the red thread finally snapping as he cries, "Why? Why? Why is this happening?" Tears stream down his face as he wails, "Why did things turn out like this?" Sudaji and a solemn guard watch Fugi's breakdown, Sudaji's expression filled with pain for him. Fugui, utterly broken, whispers to himself, "I just wanted a simple, carefree day. Was that really too much to ask?" The red-haired youth's eyes blaze with fierce determination, fangs bared. "There's still a way!" He dashes forward, snatching up the fallen green dagger as Fugui remains lost in despair. Clutching the dagger, a desperate hope fills his voice. "Maybe. I can still make it in time." Without hesitation, he slices his own wrist, blood welling instantly from the cut. Crimson tendrils of his blood reach for the baby. "My blood is compatible. I'll replace the infected blood and reconnect her flesh." His brow furrows with worry. "But I can't heal wounds from that special power. We need someone else, fast." The stern warrior interjects, stepping towards the baby with calm assurance. "I can." He explains, ethereal bandages swirling around his hand. Wounds from zombie clan power can be temporarily healed by mummy clan abilities. The mystical bandages envelop the baby, gently lifting her as the healing begins. Fugui watches, tears still glistening, but a fragile spark of hope ignites in his purple eyes. Fugui, tears still in his eyes, clutches a golden vitality talisman, a desperate attempt to save her. He carefully places the talisman on the baby, now cradled in his arms, as the red-haired youth and stern warrior watch. "Please, you have to hold on," he begs, pressing the vitality talisman against the baby's tiny, still form. The baby's face is pale, eyes closed, faint bruises visible, her life hanging by a thread. Suddenly, wisps of colorful energy, purple, yellow, and red, swirl upwards from the baby, a sign of something. And then a sound. The baby lets out a loud, healthy "Wah!" Fugui looks down, a small, relieved smile finally gracing his lips, purple eyes soft. Overwhelmed, he pulls the crying baby close, tears of pure relief now streaming down his face. The baby continues to wail, a strong, vibrant cry that fills the tense air with hope. Meanwhile, outside, Sudaji sits calmly amidst the defeated, bandaged-up guards, the street now quiet. Sudaji, still bound, voices a lingering question. "There's something I've never understood." The solemn guard beside her explains, "Master has lived for so long, endured so much. He seems way too tolerant." He reveals a startling truth. "You've all misunderstood Fugui. He probably only became calm in the last 1,000 or 2,000 years. A chilling flashback shows a younger, terrifying Fugui. 1,000 years ago, Fugui was actually an absolute tyrant. Back then, Fugui endured the same cruel humiliation from his clan, surrounded by their mocking voices. His response was horrifyingly simple. He slaughtered every single person who spoke against him. From palace maids to high-ranking royals, he showed no mercy, unleashing a devastating massacre. For centuries, Fugui was like a demon incarnate, his name striking fear into everyone in the clan. But over time, he began to restrain himself, stopping his rampages and ignoring the slander. A tear escapes his eye as he realized that no matter how many he killed, his body would never return to what it once was. The guard explains Fugui's current demeanor might just be numbness, knowing slaughter won't change his cursed reality. He likens Fugui's eternal torment to a cycle of the Mummy clan, surrounded by plenty yet unable to enjoy it, a desire festering for millennia. The guard speculates that this chaotic event might be their only chance in 4,000 years to finally escape their immortality. Back in the ruined hall, Fugui, cradling the baby, turns as the supposedly dead doctor groans in the background. The doctor, surprisingly alive, sits up screaming in agony, while the baby continues to cry in Fugui's arms. Fugui, with a chillingly calm expression, asks the doctor, "Do you know and what nickname they gave me 1,000 years ago?" The doctor, utterly terrified, stammers, I don't know." His face pale with dread. A sinister glint in his eyes, Fugui reveals the egg-bursting demon god, his bandaged hand glowing faintly. The doctor's desperate screams of, "Wait, stop, I was wrong," echo as he plummets from a great height. The scene shifts to a tranquil night, the moon hanging over a dark, mountainous landscape, suggesting a grim resolution. The scene shifts to a desk, now cluttered with baby formula, a bottle, and diapers. A sudden crash course in parenting. Close up, the baby gulps down milk from a bottle, little hands clutching it tightly, finally getting some nourishment. They're in a new, surprisingly modern house, the stern warrior revealing, "This is another one of my houses. Let's rest here." Fugui, sprawled on a chair, pipes up, "She looks like she's starving. Should we give her something to eat?" The warrior gives him a deadpan look. "What are you talking about? A newborn baby can only drink milk." The red-haired youth, expertly cradling the baby, adds, "We'll need to buy stage 1 formula, and don't overfeed her." Fugui, looking utterly baffled, asks, "Why, do you guys know so much?" The warrior casually mentions, "My descendants are nearing 200 generations by now. I've long since mastered taking care of children." Later, outside a cozy house at night, someone asks, "Fugui, why are you crying?" As he wipes tears, insisting, "It's nothing, I'm fine." The baby sleeps soundly, nestled among soft toys, a plush banana, a unicorn, and a rather peculiar sausage-shaped toy. The red-haired youth suddenly remembers, "Fugui, old Lai left a letter for us to read together." Fugui takes the letter, his expression unreadable as he looks at the simple white envelope. We see old Lai writing, "Fugui, after what I did, I can't stay with the clan anymore." He continues with a resolute look. "Don't worry, I have my ways to survive out here." Old Lai's letter reveals his concern for Fugui. "I wonder what 4,000 years have made of you. But if the clan falls by your hand, it wouldn't be shameful." His bandaged hand pens a crucial instruction. "When you're ready, go to the Information Museum. You'll find how to break your immortality contract there." Fugui murmurs, "Old man," while the youth points out he mentions an information museum. The stern warrior chimes in, "Ah, that's in Shanxi, China, a secret museum for the 3 great clans, disguised as an archaeological site." The red-haired youth looks worried. "But we're about to betray them, maybe even destroy them. Would they really help us break the contract? Fugui, staring at a map on the wall, declares with chilling certainty, they will. The warrior explains the museum's one rule. Secrets are exchanged for secrets. They don't care about motives, just valuable knowledge. We get a look at the Information Museum, a massive, modern building with intricate, ancient-looking patterns etched onto its facade. Fugui turns to his companions, the warrior saying, "Fortunately." Fugui smirks, confident, "We've lived for over 4,000 years. Surely we have something they'd find valuable." The red-haired youth suggests, "If that's the case, then let's pack up and get ready to leave tomorrow morning," as the baby sleeps soundly nearby. But the stern warrior, ever serious, declares, "No, we're leaving now." "Huh? Now? But the baby just fell asleep." The red-haired youth protests, but the warrior insists, "Time is our greatest enemy." Through the window, we see the youth scrambling to pack. "All right, but wait a sec. Let me pack up the formula, diapers, and a stuffed toy." While Fugui quips, "You switched roles a little too fast." The three of them step outside, Fugui sighing. Even after living so long, this feeling of being fugitives on the run, it's quite a new experience. The red-haired youth cradling the sleeping baby under the moonlight grins. "Thinking about it, it's actually kind of exciting." As the warrior deadpans, "Hey, I told you to take this seriously." Suddenly, polished shoes step onto the moonlit path, an unexpected arrival. The red-haired youth and the warrior whip around, sensing a new presence. A figure stands silhouetted against the moon, ominous characters for second brother materializing above him. The newcomer, scarred and intense, mutters, "I underestimated you, Caesar." He gazes down at the trio from a distance, an imposing, unwelcome guest. The red-haired youth gasps, his eyes wide with disbelief. "Second brother?" Fugui stares, utterly bewildered. "Brother? How can your brother be alive?" "No time to explain," Caesar grits out. "He's here to stop us, and he's early." He clutches the sleeping baby tighter, the stakes suddenly even higher. The second brother's eyes narrow. The Demon King's reincarnation. So it has come to this. The red-haired youth anxiously asks Caesar, "What do we do? That guy doesn't look like he's here to say goodbye," as Caesar admits he's baffled how second brother found them. Fugui, ever striking in his leopard print pants, decisively orders, "You two, go!" With a hardened gaze, Fugui explains, "Now that we've been discovered, I'm the only one with the power to counter him. I'll stay and hold him off." "Don't make me say it again, go," Fugui commands, his back to them. "I'll meet you in Shanxi at the museum," while the red-haired youth starts to protest. Before the youth can argue, Caesar acts fast, dark tendrils instantly binding him mid-complaint. The baby, still in its carrier, is also swiftly and gently secured by these same shadowy bindings. Caesar, now effortlessly carrying both the bound youth and the baby, tells Fugui no need to say more than as he begins to depart. Caesar glances back, his scarred face etched with grim resolve. "Liu Fugui, stay alive and come find us." Fugui watches them go, his bandaged hand clenched, replying with unwavering determination, "Of course I will." Standing alone against the moonlit landscape, Fugui turns, bracing himself to face the formidable second brother. Fugui, alone now, his leopard print pants a stark contrast to the somber, moonlit landscape, prepares for the inevitable confrontation. Meanwhile, the red-haired youth, being carried away by Caesar, screams in protest, "No! No way!" tears streaming down his face. Caesar, looking back with a grim expression, reveals, "My brother single-handedly fended off the zombie clan's invasion back then. There's no way we can win." Back on the path, second brother, his hand crackling with ominous purple energy, coldly addresses the departing Caesar. "Caesar, I don't recall ever teaching you to leave without saying goodbye." But before second brother can unleash his attack, Fugui's bandaged hand shoots out, grabbing his wrist with surprising speed. The two stand locked, Fugui having successfully intercepted second brother's move, the tension palpable under the moonlight. Fugui, looking up at the taller second brother with a smirk, taunts, "No one ever taught you not to attack your younger brother, right?" Second brother merely glances down, his scarred face impassive, clearly unamused by Fugui's intervention. Fugui's eyes narrow with fierce determination, ready to face whatever this powerful opponent throws at him. And just like that, the fight erupts. Fugui and second brother launch into action, their legs meeting in a powerful high-speed kick. Second brother's fist, glowing with red energy, clashes hard against Fugui's leopard print-covered leg. Fugui's eyes widen, a grimace forming as he feels the sheer force of that punch. Boom! Fugui is sent flying backwards from the devastating blow, a shockwave rippling out. The ground erupts where Fugui is about to land, debris flying everywhere. Fugui crashes down hard, kicking up dust and rubble, clearly taking a heavy hit. He coughs, blood trickling from his mouth, admitting, "This guy is really tough." Fugui grits his teeth, realizing, after consuming 2 unsealing talismans in 2 days, my body is starting to show side effects. Looking up at second brother, who stands on a distant cliff, Fugui thinks, but this is a chance that took over 4,000 years to come by. Suddenly, the bandages on Fugui's hand begin to loosen and unravel. The bandages fall away completely, revealing his bare hand, ready for what's next. Fugui, bloodied but defiant, glares up as second brother's voice echoes, "No matter what, I will stop you!" From a cliff top, second brother stares down, a chilling silhouette against the moon. Teal energy wisps dancing around him. Dark energy then flares around him, gathering into a terrifying wing-like aura as he prepares his next move. He unleashes it, a massive speeding fist of pure condensed power hurtling straight at Fugui. Fugui roars, his own purple energy surging, bracing himself to meet the devastating attack head-on. Their powers collide in a blinding flash, Fugui desperately straining against second brother's overwhelming force. Boom! A colossal explosion rips through the night, the shockwave obliterating the ground beneath them. The blast erupts into a gigantic, churning wave of raw energy, surging outwards with incredible force. Trees are instantly torn asunder as this destructive torrent of power sweeps through the forest. And in the heart of the chaos, second brother lands a brutal, direct punch right to Fugui's jaw. Fugui's head snaps back as second brother's fist connects, the impact brutal and direct. The sheer force sends Fugui skidding backwards, struggling to stay on his feet. But second brother is relentless, already lunging forward with another vicious strike. They trade blows in a flurry, the speed and power of their attacks blurring in the moonlight. Second brother's hand, now crackling with a sinister purple energy, clamps onto Fugui's arm. With a mighty heave, second brother swings Fugui, a massive arc of purple energy trailing behind. Crash! The ground shatters as Fugui is slammed down with incredible force. Fugui is flung upwards from the impact, completely at second brother's mercy. He tumbles through the air disoriented as second brother watches from below. Fugui hits the ground hard again, dust and debris exploding around him, while second brother stands poised. Second brother lands, his sharp eyes noticing Fugui's sudden speed boost, wondering if it's just the removed bandages. He watches Fugui, a new thought dawning. No, not just that. Second brother realizes it seems the birth of the baby girl has also unlocked a significant portion of his power.